to treat good people well and give them breaks, it goes a long way.
Right.
I mean, I always remember back in my day too, we were always taught to follow, it's about the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. Just because you can arrest doesn't mean you have to arrest.
Exactly. And that's something that you've mentioned to your probationers, especially as a field training officer.
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time was, look, there's never a shortage of people that actually need to be arrested. Sadly, society is full of people that just can't wait to get arrested.
Right.
So those are the ones you focus on. And, the average citizen that steps on his dick every now and again accidentally doesn't need to have his entire life ruined.
Right.
If it's not a mandatory arrest, then look for ways not to arrest. That's what I would say.
Now, here's a story I would love the viewers to listen about, because this is something that you and I have talked about too, where you've pulled over a vehicle and someone's talked themselves into a ticket.
Constantly. Now, and in my case, I like to say I was an elephant hunter. So that means my partner and I were looking for heavy felony arrest. Not people that were going to do prison time, not somebody that was going to go to jail for 3 days. Because what's the point?
Exactly.
So we weren't big ticket writers. I could count the number of tickets I've written on one hand. I just would do anything I could not to write a ticket.
Right.
So if I did write a ticket, I guarantee you the person I was writing it to literally forced me to do it with such a shitty attitude. And that's the thing. A lot of citizens don't realize that, tickets are not mandatory unless things have changed. And in the most case, they're not mandatory. And it's like, man, I'm looking for ways to let you go. And if you're just going to completely motherfuck me and my kids and my grandparents and my dogs and tell me that you wouldn't piss on me in a forest fire, there's really not much reason for me not to write a ticket. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to subject your vehicle to a vehicle inspection, and I'm going to notice the fact that your freaking license plate light doesn't work either. Start making life pretty miserable for you. That's how I used to operate. And I mean, I don't know which exact incident you're talking about because there were so many. I mean, like I said, anybody I stopped and wrote, they wanted to be written because they would shut their mouth.
It was the one with the dude who was like, "Man, all you cops out here just giving a brother."
That case was a little bit different in that when I stopped him, it was one of those tickets that was egregious. I had to write that citation,
right?
And I could have written a lot heavier citation, but I opted for the lower one.
Yeah.
And his mantra was that I was only stopping him because he was black, and now this was in Watts in the 80s. So I reminded him, that the only non-black person in the whole area was me. That what the hell? And he was like, no, that's what you do. You stopping a brother because of this, that. And I couldn't shut him up. And I said, look, man, I'm going to write you the ticket. It's just going to happen. And I'm going to do it as slow as I can. And I write pretty slow anyway. And we were on a pretty heavily trafficked street, cars whipping by both directions. And I said, you keep your eyes open. And when you can point out somebody that's not black going north or south, you point it out and I'll tear this ticket up and let you go. And I started writing, and I would stop from time to time. Any luck, man? Just do your thing. And I'm writing. And finally I said, I get to the end. I go, look, man, I'm at the end of the citation. Have you seen anybody that's not black other than me? And he goes, man, just write me the fucking ticket. And I said, look, brother, if I was in Chinatown, guess what people would be saying? You just stop on me because I'm Chinese. I'm like, look, man, I'm working in an all black neighborhood. Everyone I stop is black. Everyone I rescue is black. Everyone I help is black. You live in Watts.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just an argument that I know you guys hear a lot of today too. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. And I think it's always been that way too. People don't look. Who wants to get stopped by the cops? Nobody.
Nobody does.
I've
had people try to cry their way out of tickets.
Oh God, yeah, that's another one.
I stopped this one lady. I'll never forget.
Turn on